everyone! So, as you might know, I stockpiled quite a few Folio Society books and at the New Year's sale. And instead of doing the reasonable thing and waiting till I've read all of them, catching up with everything that I have new, I bought this. The Collected Stories of Nikolai Gogol by the Folio Society. It came in the mail just recently and I'm super happy with it so far, so I thought I'd show it to you today. Hope you enjoy it.
The Collected Stories of Nikolai Gogol was first published by the Folio Society in 2009. It comes in a red slipcase. Once we remove said slipcase, you can see the stunning cover art that caught my eye immediately when I saw the book online for the first time. As you can see, the design is done in three very dominant contrasting colors, red, gold and black, and it is chock full of imagery from the stories. There's just so much to discover here, like the tiny village in a birch forest up in the right corner, and I love to come back to the cover each time I have finished reading a story, just to see if I can discover an element of what I just read in here. I also love how it's been framed, as though the entire scenery is springing forth from Gogol's silhouetted head, akin to a thought bubble in a comic. The spine has a similar effect, this time showing the silhouette of a devil, who is an important character in many of the stories, and the title is placed here in a sort of speech bubble as well. It is a fantastic design, beautiful, imaginative, and relevant to the content of the book. The stories were translated by Constance Garnett, the first English Gogol translator, and illustrated by Peter Seward, whose work I already appreciated in the Folio Society's The Lifted Veil. The book was printed on Abbey Wolf paper, bound in buckram, and contains a total of 13 stories, which are accompanied by 11 full-color illustrations. Of course, there's also an introduction, but I have not read it yet, as I prefer to go into reading blindly. Having only read half the book so far, the stories are to me incredibly imaginative and well written. Gogol makes heavy use of supernatural elements steeped in folklore, which I just love so much, while also creating absurd, sometimes comical situations that are very satirical in nature. I have enjoyed every single story I have read so far, because even the dark and gruesome horror story, A Terrible Revenge, manages to be highly entertaining. I think that Peter Seward's illustrations for the book are just fantastic. They capture the mood and surrealism of the stories perfectly, and they give me the impression that the illustrator just really enjoyed letting his imagination run wild, dabbling in super saturated colors, grotesque features, and also adding in some typical Russian imagery. As with the lifted veil, I find that they may be a bit confusing or even unpleasant to look at without context, but they unfold amazingly before you once you have read the story, which to me is the true aim of book illustration. All in all, it is a superb edition inside and out, and one that I'm incredibly glad to own.
As you might have guessed, this book isn't in print anymore, and I actually didn't know of it at all until I came across the book on eBay just by chance. And what really drew me in at first was, of course, the amazing cover art that I thought just looked so cool, honestly. And then I investigated further, and of course, it is illustrated by Peter Seward, whose work I already got to know in The Lifted Veil, where I thought that he has a really firm grasp on the atmosphere of a story and how to add to the story through an image, which I think is not as guaranteed as you might think it is with book illustration. A lot of times you might have illustrations that look nice, but I feel that they don't do much for your understanding of the story or to transport your imagination a little bit further. And that's something I think that Peter Sewer just excels in, even though I might not like his style. I wouldn't maybe hang it on my wall, but I think as a book illustrator, he's just very, very talented. I really love his work that I've seen so far. So that was a huge plus point. And then just recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw it on eBay for a very reasonable price, around £25, I think I paid for this. And I just felt like I had to jump on it, so I bought it and already started reading it, even though I'm not even through reading my New Year's sale pile. But everything I've read so far of the book, I have absolutely loved. I think that Gogol has a very, very imaginative mind. I think his writing style is great. It's just entertaining, and of course, like I said before, I really love the sort of supernatural and folklore elements that he's adding into some of the stories. But it's just in general, even though not all of the stories have like good endings, I would say, well, happy-ish endings, I just felt enriched by having read them, and it fits into my plans as well because I have been meaning to read more Russian, or in this case Ukrainian authors, because I have kind of neglected them so far. And I've already done my start by buying the Pushkin books, but now that I have this Gogol book, I'm super happy about it, and I would really recommend it. I think it's a great book. I think it's great production value. It's beautiful, yeah, beautiful pictures, beautiful content. I think you can't go wrong there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a good day. Bye bye.